Hey Jet family, I'm Jake Davenport. I'm principal at Sterling Public Schools.
I'm Riley Arms, superintendent.
Just wanted to put together a quick video just to share some information about the upcoming bond election. We appreciate everybody that's been able to come to our community meetings, but have gotten some feedback that maybe we aren't hitting a broad enough audience and wanted to just put out the information that we had. I'll pass it off to you. I'll let you talk a little bit about the elementary.
So starting with the elementary, and kind of a common theme for the whole bond initiative is just the lack of space that we have. There's really nowhere to go in that current structure, and we have growing enrollment sizes down in that building. Historically, we've kind of moved the larger classes to the larger classrooms, but we're in a situation now where we don't have a smaller group to move. So just some of the issues that we see by industry average and recommended class size, we're at least 200 to 300 square feet short in every room in the elementary. And again, just nowhere to grow in that area.
So one of the more critical questions that we get when it comes to what's being proposed is why would we build a new elementary when our enrollment's not growing? And the short answer is it is growing. And I think that we all have hopes in seeing Sterling grow. But the reality of it is while future growth is in mind and that's been a consideration in the plans, we're really focusing on current needs. The current space is really inadequate to do what we would like to do with the students and to accommodate the current class sizes that we have.
Another concern that's come up is the lack of rooms. We currently have a couple of shared spaces that are just separated by bookshelves or dividers. When we do specials and pullouts for kids, basically whatever corner we can fit a desk and a chair in, that becomes the pullout spot for kiddos doing interventions and other activities that they need one-on-one attention with.
Yeah, and this is really evident when you think of some of our larger classes. Like the first grade class specifically, they have a class of 21 in there. And when I think of first grade, I think of active learning and not being confined to a desk. Unfortunately, in our first grade classroom, when you walk in, that's what you're going to see is 8 hours a day, students sitting at their desk. There's little walking room around there. And we have seen a trend towards growing enrollment in the elementary, which is fantastic. But yeah, we're just kind of running out of space. Going back to that first grade classroom, some of the other issues that you'll see on the north side classrooms, there's not windows present at all in any of that side of the hallway. And so when we think of a safety standpoint, any form of egress must come through that doorway. And so if there's any kind of obstruction, whether it be a fire or any kind of emergency situation, there's no way out of that classroom other than that doorway.
Another issue with the elementary is the structure is just starting to show its age. It's exceeded the average life expectancy of a commercial school building of 65 years. And we're starting to see several maintenance issues. In my short time here, 4 of the classrooms have had moisture issues, whether it's leaks through the roof or leaks through the foundation. Has just caused a handful of maintenance nightmares. And the costs repairing the foundational and the roof issues are just astronomical to ensure that these issues aren't going to persist. We've done the best job that we can taking care of those issues in-house, but as we correct one, another one arises, and they seem to just continue to cause problems in different areas.
When we do the facility tours, a lot of the things that we point out within the elementary are exactly what we talked about. Just the size and space, the overall safety and security of the students. The infrastructure is a lot of times not totally present in the tours, just because our maintenance guys do a fantastic job of taking care of problems as they exist. But there are still signs, like in the third and second grade classrooms, the carpet stains are still present from all of the floods. That you'll see the pull-out spaces in the hallway where our paras or our teachers take kids to work one-on-one. You'll see the dividers that are put up between our special education and Title I teacher. All of these things are present when we do the tour, but we just wanted to offer the opportunity to show you guys as well. Another area that would be addressed in the bond that's proposed is the kitchen area. The kitchen itself was never meant to be a permanent structure. If you look at the outside of the building, it's actually pretty apparent. You have the wood siding blending in with the brick, and it's built on posts or piers. And over the years, that structure has been slowly but steadily pulling away from the building, leaving us with a pretty significant slope in that area. It's something that's created multiple problems within the kitchen itself. The kitchen specifically is referring to kind of that back room where we house the ovens and our big freezers, as well as the prep tables. But one of the things that we've had to do to accommodate over the years is we actually move that big freezer as the floor breaks around it. And you'll see where it's kind of buckling over top of the supporting beams and everything. When you walk in there, the space is a problem itself. It's very small, it's very cramped, it's not meant to be kind of an industrial style kitchen, which is exactly what it is in a school. But then the fact that the structure itself is not sound creates an issue in itself. When we were working to prepare the presentation for the community, I was ballparking it because it does get very hot, and I apologize, that's the bell for the passing period. But when we were preparing the presentation, I was just having a casual conversation with our kitchen manager, and I said, it gets really hot in there. It's got to get up to about 110, doesn't it? At which point she turns the thermometer around and shows me that on a 70-degree day, it actually hit 125 degrees, just simply because there's no air conditioning, which once again is kind of a safety hazard in and of itself for our kitchen staff.
I would say, along with some of the space constraints, the main storage for the kitchen is actually located on the lower level. There is access through an exterior stairway into the basement where the bulk of the food is stored. So deliveries are dropped off there. Food has to be transported by way of the exterior stairway, multiple trips in and out during the hot days and in the winter. With the proposed move of the elementary, it allows us to also take a look at our common space that causes several problems. Again, that is the oldest part of the building, and we have significant moisture issues in there as well. Part of the problem with the age of the current building is that even repairs that are done by professional companies that specialize in the area are failing rather quickly because the condition of the roof structures and the foundation. For example, the lunchroom wall that was professionally repaired by a contractor that specializes in school repairs. It was completely redone 2 years ago and has leaked already twice this school year. So a problem that we're seeing is...
currently today.
And a problem that we're seeing is, regardless of the repairs that we put in place, they're just not fixing the problem.
Yeah, space is also an issue when it comes to our commons area. So when we're referring to the commons, we're talking about specifically the cafeteria and gym activity entrance, as well as those restrooms. The space itself, when you get the kids in there that we have, it's tight, it's packed. I wish I could say that we could just pull down another table. We actually have another table available. There's just not space there to do it. Sticking with the theme of space, there's also activities that we're limited in being able to offer our kids. For example, the Pioneer Conference basketball tournament, we've never been able to host, just strictly because it comes along with the Pioneer Conference art show. The conference has told us no. And so unfortunately, when it comes to some of those conference activities, we have to always just plan on traveling. The restrooms are also another big problem in the commons. They are grandfathered in as for what we have, but they're not ADA compliant. In some of our presentations that we've been given, we've been asked the question, what happens if you have somebody who needs a wheelchair accessible restroom? And the answer is we'd probably have to direct them down to our high school during an activity. And so while it works, it's not fair. If we're going to invite people into our building, we'd like to offer an accommodating space.
Another area that's addressed in the Commons edition is the weight room. Our current weight room is vastly undersized and also serves as the community's fitness center. We take pride in being able to offer that to the community, but recently have seen that it is a need in the community, a true fitness center. So the new proposal actually triples the size of our weight room and allows us to use the spaces to provide more opportunity both to community and our students that use that space. Operating as the community fitness center, we have the means to update our equipment and add opportunities for everyone that uses that space, but we lack the space to add anything in there at all currently.
Something else that the reconstruction of that current gym commons would add is an enclosure, that double entry system where our current entryway is. That's been a source of headaches for quite a few years. Less than 5 years ago, we had a pretty decent flood down that direction. It did take part of the elementary, and all of the gym floor buckled. Insurance was able to take care of that, but the issue, while the gym floor was fixed, the issue really still remains.
Being that the current building in that area is built onto a hill, that also opens up a space underneath due to the new construction. So that allows us to mitigate one of the issues we've been facing, which is space for visiting teams. Our current practice is to put one team in the high school girls locker room and the other team in the weight room. So we're either covering up the cameras in the weight room with a football helmet and a coffee can, or sticking them in a space that's undersized. But anytime we host more than one team, that visiting team does not have access to showers and is really in a space that's not intended to be a locker room. So the new project, having that space open up, would allow us to add 2 smaller locker rooms that could be used as visiting locker rooms, but also double as larger, more effective locker rooms for our junior high kids. So the proposed project actually takes part in 2 phases. So the first phase would be the Commons and Elementary Edition, so that we have a place for those kids to go while the rest of the project is completed. So the new building proposes adequate sized classrooms, a kitchen where everything is under one roof and not falling off the building, and a large common space that can be used for giving our students adequate space to eat, but also a large shared space that we can use for other activities that they may need.
Yeah, so as you look at the plans, what's being proposed is, first of all, in that phase 1, like Mr. Arms said, is the addition that would be added to the south of the school. This would essentially close half of Illinois Street. So right there where the crosswalk is, where the students normally cross to go to recess, would be about the cutoff point of where that road would be closed. And then it would be the commons built essentially right over top of Illinois Street, and then to the south in that vacant lot, our currently vacant lot, would be the elementary addition. Once completed, everything would be moved over to the elementary, and then the construction of the commons activities area would be placed there. All right, so this picture is not necessarily exactly what the proposed addition would look like. It's really just kind of a possibility of what could be. It kind of gives a layout of when you're looking from the south to the north, the new addition, how it ties into the current school, really what that kind of could look like. It's not necessarily set in stone, but it is kind of a decent visual as far as possibilities.
If you've been to the school lately or frequent the school, the main entrance does not exactly scream main entrance. If you drive by the building and you've never been here before, there really is no indication on where you're supposed to enter. This proposal, again, just a preview of what the entrance could be, but really provides a welcoming spot with proper signage that say, enter here.
One of the things that is most important to me when we talk about the potential of this project is just the safety and security aspect. Something else that most modern facilities have to ensure safety within a structure is just the entryways. What's being proposed in this plan does include 2 double entry systems, which allows us to essentially double vet any visitor that we have coming into the building. The way that works is, you're buzzed through the first doors, you're greeted by a receptionist, in our case Renee, and then from there, business is verified, and then you're let into the school. Under our current system, you're once you're in those doors, you're in the school. You have free reign. Also, the other big safety concern that's mitigated through what's being proposed is just the fact that every single classroom would now have a window. Those two are probably my favorite portions of the plan. It is also worth mentioning that what we're talking about is really nothing extravagant. We really just want to be able to offer classrooms, adequate, safe classrooms for our students, and then simply a working kitchen commons area. Other than that, everything else is really designed to mitigate long-term problems or issues that we've noted over the past, because we don't want to do this project more than once. Something that I'm excited about is just keeping in mind that we could see potential growth, and we really don't want to do this project more than once. There are certain spaces within the school that would allow for potential growth. Right now, we do operate under a middle school model, which means that the sixth grades currently don't have a homeroom. They're taught in the high school classrooms by the high school teachers. There are specific spaces that could be expanded to accommodate moving the sixth grade back into the elementary if the class sizes warranted that. There's potentially space in the new elementary addition, or that multi-purpose space then in what would be the current commons could be divided up into classrooms, but there are possibilities.
So this kind of leads us into the proposed funding for the project. The project in itself, and as it's stated on the ballot initiative, is not to exceed $17.5 million, with a maximum levy impact of 22.5 cents. Some things that are worth noting is, as of 2022, when it comes to election bond issues, ag land is only taxed at 50% of its valuation. And with this project in particular, being a two-phase project, that also gives us some flexibility options with the bonds process. We would not necessarily need to tax the entire thing up front, and interest rates are on the decline a little bit currently. So
yeah, and we understand that this might not answer all of the questions. Really, the goal behind putting together this video was just to get as much information out there as possible. If you do have questions, please reach out to one of us. We'll do our best to answer the questions. Beyond that, the last thing that I'd like to do is just encourage you to vote. Having this bond election in November, it's a really unique opportunity to have everybody's voices heard as far as the future of the school is concerned. And so I encourage everybody to vote. Just a couple of reminders. So the election this year is going to be mail-in ballot only. You should be receiving them sometime between October 14th and 25th. And so that does give you very little time to return them if it gets delivered late, but we should have results on the 5th. Something else just to kind of put onto your calendars, on October 20th, we are going to be doing another live presentation with a tour, which will provide quite a bit more information than we're able to provide during a video, as well as kind of a hands-on experience as far as some of the problems that we have in the elementary, the commons, the kitchen, and some of those activity areas. And so please join us. It's a heck of a lot easier to have conversations with people in person than it is to record videos. And if anybody's critical on the video or my editing skills, I apologize. We really are. We're just trying to do our best to get information out there. I don't know if you have anything else, Mr. Arms?
Nope.
Go Jets.